Welcome back, and you know what it is. It is original greatness. Today, I want to talk to you guys about why I don't watch the news. We already know that bad news travels faster than good news, and that it seems like it's nothing but bad stories and information and negativity presented on the news. And that's part of the reason that I don't watch the news, but there's one major concept about why I don't watch the news. One of those is that the majority of people that watch the news, they're not really watching the news for information. They're watching the news for entertainment purposes. And I'm going to get back to that, but I'm just wanted to get that out the way. So Jim Rohn had mentioned this wonderful analogy that two people could look out the exact same window and one person can see a beautiful sunrise or a beautiful sunset, and then another person can look out that window and see specks or stains on the glass of the window. Now, the idea about that analogy is that nothing on the outside of the people have actually changed. It's the exact same scene. The difference is what's going on in their mind, what's going on in their mind about what they have decided to give their attention to. The person that saw the sunset or the beautiful sunrise, they decided to give their attention to seeing that. And the other person decided to give their attention to looking at the specks on the glass of the window. Now, that's not to say that the person that saw the sunset or the sunrise didn't see the specks or the stains on the window. They just decided not to pay attention to that. And that analogy is a great way of summing up or explaining how two different people can come from the same place or be in the same place and have two different outcomes or two different perspectives. So on this journey of studying self-improvement and personal development, it's a common theme that energy flows where your attention goes. So if you focus your attention on negativity, that's what you're going to see. And because you're thinking about it and you seeing it, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I don't watch the news for that reason. And another thing about the news is this. As a collective, us as individuals, we don't understand how much power and influence we actually have together. The news showing negative stuff isn't just because they're trying to show us negative stuff. They're showing us negative stuff because that's what we're paying attention to as majority. So if people are watching the news to see negative stuff, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. They're showing you negative stuff because they know that's what gets your attention. So if we started as a collective to desire watching the news for good news, then they would start showing us good news. But first, we got to stop watching it for the bad stuff. So that's my opinion on the news. And when I was thinking about this and shooting this video, I did some research and I was thinking, I said, people don't understand that it's a trade-off with convenience. And what that is like, if you ever watched a movie from a book that you read, you would know that a lot of what you saw in the movie was different or it was missing. They changed something from what you read in the book, or something wasn't included that you read in the book. And part of that reason is because a movie has time restraints. They're trying to put a certain amount of information in a short time frame. And that's the same thing they do with the news. The news only has an hour to give you information. So they've reduced it down to a size that fits within that hour. So when I started researching this and thinking about it and looking at it, not only is it like an hour, they play commercials. It's commercials and advertisements in the middle of the news. So it's not even a full hour, and it's 4 things that they covering. You got the breaking news or the top story. Then you have the general news. And then you have sports and you got weather. Those are the four main themes of the news when they play or give you news information within an hour. So how that works is that they give you information in the news based off how close it hits to home from wherever you are. So first, there's local news. The local news is going to be your neighborhood and in your city. Then they talk about the regional news, which is going to be the state and the surrounding states of where you live. Then they talk about national news. This is going to be the country. So it will be the United States based on where I am. And then you got they got international or global news. So that's going to be news all over the world. So based off of how important or breaking news those different things are in those different levels is how they would present them to you. So back to my analogy or my concept about how the movie has stuff missing or it's different compared to what you read in a book. There was an old school alternative of the news being, and it still is, where you have a newspaper. So when I started doing my research on a newspaper, come to find out a newspaper, I'm just getting my notes, has 11 different categories that they cover versus the 4 that they show you on TV. So those 11 categories are general news, local and foreign news, editorial. Now, editorial is going to be people that work for the newspaper or different people that you know that write columns that have opinions or views based on what's going on in the news. Sports, they have a sports section, classified ads, business and finance, entertainment, home and culture, society, travel and tourism, and then the last section, section 11, is announcement and obituaries. And down in the description, I'm going to have that link where you can read in more detail the specifics of each one of those categories. So I think that most of the people that watch the news are watching the news for entertainment purposes only. And knowing that the news is going to be negative, they don't understand that they have an emotional connection and investment with seeing those negative things on the TV. And I know that this sounds bad, but just hear me out. Before now, like in our history, there have been people that come out and watch public hangings, public executions, and even in Roman times when they had gladiator matches where the crowd make a decision and say, boo, kill him, and all of that. People come out and they watch that stuff. They are attracted or were attracted, and some people still are, to carnage, to negative destruction type information and visuals. So that's why I think a lot of people actually watch the news. You know it's going to be negative. And they might tell themselves they're watching the news for information. Now, this is my idea about that. If the news is the only place you seek information, you watching it for entertainment. Because if you're serious about seeking information, you know that the news is one of the worst places to get information because they only can tell you so much about the story. So it's just laughable for some people, in my opinion, to think that. So anyway, that's why I don't watch the news. So I want to go ahead and wrap this video up. So make sure you share, you like, you subscribe, and do me a favor so I know you made it to the end of this video. Comment below ISI for I seek information. So that's where I got that from. So, as always, be original, be great, and say, I am original greatness. God bless.